All right, so first of all, I just want to thank everybody for tuning into the first podcast. The amount of love and support we got from that is just amazing. So thank you.
So today's topic we're going to be talking about is going through transformation. Connor's going to read the verse of the day.
Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect.
So the reason why we chose to talk about transformation this week is because last week we talked about the struggles Christians may have and how not only do they have to admit that to themselves, but also to God, bring their problems to Him. And it's really hard for Christians nowadays to be vulnerable. But now we're just going to be talking about transformation, how to actually change your ways and not go back to the sin that you keep committing. And the first thing we're going to be talking about is what is baptism. All right, so Brandon, what do you think true baptism really means?
I think baptism is showing that you're dedicated to Jesus Christ and that you've accepted Him into your heart.
Yeah, and what I see is that people who really get baptized at a younger age, they end up getting baptized again because first time they were baptized, they weren't fully committed to Jesus, and they kept going back to that sin or kept committing sin and didn't really bring God into their heart,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people a lot of people think that if you're not baptized, you don't go to heaven. I feel like a lot of people think that, I just keep my drink. But I feel like a lot of people think that without baptism, you can't be saved.
Mm-hmm.
And that's clearly not true because when Jesus was dying on the cross and the guy beside him said, remember me, Jesus, and he said, you'll be with me in paradise.
Mm-hmm.
That guy was never saved. He wasn't a Christian before. He didn't follow the laws of the Bible. And Jesus accepted him.
Yep.
I feel like people have made baptism like a rule, I guess. Like you have to get baptized.
But it is also like, don't get me wrong. Like it's good to get baptized.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Jesus did, so.
Yeah.
Jesus got baptized, so yeah.
And like different denominations, like Baptists obviously do
Yeah.
baptism.
Mhm.
Methodists, they like sprinkle water on you. Like they do
Yeah,
different
there's like different types of baptism.
there's different types of way that people show they're saved.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
or they accept Jesus.
I think like Catholics, they don't they like baptize them when they're young, or is that just baby dedication?
I think that's a whole nother
It is.
region.
I think
really
it
don't.
might
I don't
be.
know much.
I don't
about
want
it.
to say too much about it because
Yeah,
I don't
because
really know.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not
not. I'm not knowledgeable
Yeah.
about that. So
Yeah. And before we go any further, I just want to introduce one more person new to the podcast.
forgot about Brad.
Yeah, I forgot. The introduction. Yeah, but we want to introduce Bryson Beck. He's going to be, just a special guest on the podcast. So we're just so blessed to have him here today. All right, Connor, so how old were you when you first got baptized?
I was 10 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
I think 9.
No,
I think I was 8.
Really?
I was like 5.
Wow, he beat your record.
I never.
5.
Dang. So you guys were like baptized at the same age then? Any of y'all been like re-baptized or anything?
No, I haven't.
I haven't. I've seen somebody.
I feel like I should though, because I feel like I haven't been like I feel like I've had 2 experiences where I could have been saved.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
kind of the same thing for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Because I don't know if I need to get rebaptized or not. But
Yeah.
in my mind, I'm like, I think I need to because maybe I wasn't saved the first time I had an encounter. I was just like, being like brought to God, I guess. But
I think that's what some people do. Like when they rededicate their life, they get rebaptized again.
yeah.
But
Well, I was saved twice, but I was only baptized once.
Yeah. How many times do you think you should get baptized?
I feel like whatever the Lord calls you to do, because like it was at my church, and like everybody at my church knows that I'm saved, like because they've all been there when I
Yeah.
firstly like got baptized and everything. So I didn't really feel the need that I needed to get baptized again because everybody already knew. You
Yeah.
know? But yeah.
Yeah. First time I got baptized, I think I was like way younger. And I always saw like other people get baptized, and I was always asking my parents like, what's like why are they doing that? and they'd be like, it pretty much just means you're like renewing yourself.
Yeah.
Like you're becoming a new character. And I found that interesting. So when I was like around 9, I was like, I want to be baptized, you know?
Mhm.
But there are definitely some times where I felt lost in my life, like even after I got baptized. And once again, I would find myself, you know, with God and all that. But kind of like what Brent said, like how you asked, how many times should a Christian be baptized?
Mhm.
And Brent pretty much just said, when the Lord calls you to it, you know?
Yeah.
Because some people think, oh, you're only baptized once. You mess up, then I don't know, just
Rebaptized. or something.
yeah. But some people do rebaptize, you know?
Yeah.
And
I don't think
that's-
there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, there's nothing bad with it.
Yeah. It just means like they've been lost for so long, maybe.
Yeah.
That they
Like what
felt
Brock said, like rededication. Like
Exactly.
rededicating your
But
life
do you
to God.
think you should be rebaptized after rededication or no?
Depends. I guess if you feel that need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need to.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like if the Lord calls you to get rebaptized, you know,
Because maybe
need
you
to,
never,
yeah.
maybe you're never like truly saved, kind of like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because some people who are like, do it because other people do it. They don't really do it.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they
yeah. When I was little, we had VBS for our church or whatever, and everybody was getting baptized, and I was like, I need to, but I remember I talked to my preacher, and I didn't really know what to say, you know, and that was kind of like my answer to like, I'm not saved, so why would I need to get back? You know what I mean? But,
Yeah.
All right, so Bryson, what was going through your mind as a 5-year-old when you were getting baptized? Because, you know, I was 9, and I always thought like, this is like really cool. The fact that baptism symbolizes a new life.
Yeah.
So since you were around like 4 years younger than me, how did that work for you?
Man, I just feel like I was so young, I really didn't know what it truly meant, right? And like now that I look back on it, I just did it to like be a part of the group. And
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
you
like
know,
be a part of the church.
Yeah.
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 That's what
Like-
some churches do. They like,
They'll baptize you like right when
it's like you're
born.
like a member or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I was like the exact same way because it was like I think a lot of people from the youth group got baptized when I got baptized, and I kind of just like wanted to follow them, you know. But yeah, but now I truly understand what it means, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I guess leads to people getting rebaptized, that they weren't really as confident or really knew Jesus that much when they were younger when they got baptized. And then now once they've matured, gone through horrible experiences, and have really been tested by the various trials that God gives us, they're like, all right, I want to be baptized again, but this time like for real, when I'm actually fully understand that the Lord is my Savior and I truly want to follow Him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do y'all think like true transformation is? Since like baptism's like a thing, but what do you think like
I
after
think
that?
I think it goes
What
back
do
to
you
the
do?
verse we read. Renewal of your mind.
Yeah.
Like complete changing of the mind. And when you do that, like renewing of your mind and once you're saved, Jesus like will work through you and he'll show himself through us. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the whole goal of Christianity, to be transformed and like have a real genuine relationship with God. And then in Romans 12:2, renewal of your mind, that means like you shift your whole gear, or like you shift your whole perspective on what the Spirit desires
Yeah.
instead of what your flesh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How
But-
is this like renewal of mind?
Mhm.
How would you say like what happens when you get like temptations? Would you say?
I mean, we're still gonna get those, but I feel like a
Are you
lot
talking
of,
about like temptations when you're going through that transformation?
exactly. Like,
no, like when you are a Christian and you're still gonna be
Yeah.
tested.
Like after like while you yeah.
Yeah, I guess
I get it.
both, but like I suppose when you're already like transformed.
But I feel like when you are like when you got your eyes set on the Lord, that's when Satan's gonna try and like attack your path or whatever. Because it's
Yeah.
gonna be hard. You're gonna have those stumbling blocks that Satan's gonna throw in front of your way and like just misalign
I
your
think
path.
that's
but-
God testing you to see, because anybody can say, "I'm transformed,"
yeah.
but God's gonna throw those temptations, like not
Well,
because He
not
wants you
God.
to fall.
God won't. Well,
yeah.
he'll test you sometimes.
He'll test
Yeah.
you, not like temptations wise, because that's the devil.
Yeah.
But he'll throw trials. you
Yeah,
know, to really
he'll
test.
put you through a season to make you stronger.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It strengthens your faith. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Job literally
Yeah.
lost everything, and he
Yeah. God was like, he told Satan, he was like, I mean, you can do whatever he wants to, but don't kill him.
Yeah.
He
Like,
lost
Job still-
everything.
Yeah, he lost everything.
No, but I think I said this last podcast, but I think I look up, besides Jesus, obviously I look up to Jesus the most, but I think I look up to Job the most because that man went through everything. And like, he lost his wife, all of his kids, and he still chased after God.
Yeah.
He knew that God, did it for a purpose.
When
And it made him stronger.
when the house blew down and it killed his family or whatever, he shaved his head, undressed and went and worshipped. Like that just shows you like how committed he was to God, and like he's like a description of how we're supposed to be as Christians. You know what I mean?
I feel like another person from the Bible that's like shows transformation is Paul.
Oh
That
yeah.
used to be Saul.
And God
Do y'all
transformed him
think
into
y'all like know of anybody else from the Bible that like, I guess, had true transformation?
I would say mostly all the disciples. They
Yeah,
have
that's true.
past lives. Like Peter, he would be like gambler. He would have anger issues.
Yeah.
And it's still, even when he's transformed, when he's full of Jesus, he still has those struggles. When he cut
We're
that
all gonna
Romans-
have those struggles because that's when Satan's gonna attack you the hardest.
Yeah.
When you're getting close to God and you're reading the Word, you're getting in there, you're with other people, fellowshipping and worshiping, and you're ascending in your faith with Jesus. That's when Satan's gonna try and attack you the hardest, because he's gonna be like, nah,
Yeah. And if
You gotta
Satan's,
be mine.
if Satan's not attacking you, then you need to check up. pretty
yeah, you
much.
need to check on your faith.
Yeah.
But
It's so easy to be lost in the good stuff, like the worldly
Yeah.
stuff.
yeah,
And that's when you're like, this is the best life,
yeah,
Yeah.
But you
that's
don't
just
realize
a counterfeit of like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize I'm happy in the moment, but will I be happy tonight or even a
Yeah.
couple years from now? Will my life even be like, I suppose, equal to like the life that God wanted
Yeah.
for me in
Yeah.
the beginning? So, yeah.
Who do y'all think? This is like really random, but who is y'all's favorite disciple?
I'd probably say, probably Matthew, since he was like a tax collector and everybody
Yeah.
like
yeah, that was gonna be.
everybody like hated on him pretty much. And then
I'm going
like
with Peter. That
Peter-
man, that man
Peter
was
is-
ready to die for
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
that's true.
Yeah, he literally got. Wait, it was him that got crucified upside down.
Yeah,
right?
because he said he
Because,
wasn't worthy
Yeah,
enough.
Yeah, like that
And then,
just
he, and then he
shows.
cut off the guy's
His ear, yeah.
Another one is John. Just the fact that even toward the end, how they tried to kill him, but he wouldn't die, and he wrote
Yeah.
like most of the New Testament.
Yeah, he wrote
was it?
Revelations, bro.
John.
Oh yeah, John was
The
crazy.
entire
good.
book of Revelation was an entire vision that John like saw. Like imagine seeing that
Right.
as like a human, like that. To
And
me,
the thing is, he like wrote it down like perfectly. Like
yeah, like
it was
the
crazy.
script, like detailed, deeply detailed, and
Yeah.
like almost like it's just amazing how like God worked through him through visions to
Mm-hmm.
like prepare us for the end time.
Yeah,
That's like
That's
insane.
Wait, we forgot to ask Bryson what his favorite disciple was.
Oh yeah, yeah.
what's
My
your
fault,
favorite
Bryson, my
what's your
fault.
favorite disciple?
I would have to say mine's Peter because it really shows like the dedication they put.
Yeah,
And like, there's been times in my life where I struggle with stuff, and like, I try to get closer to God, and there's temptations and things that get in my way, and I really struggle with it. But like, I just gotta do better in trusting God, and when I do that, I could see like how much closer I'm getting towards Him.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah,
I think, like I said in the last podcast, you won't feel truly grateful to God till you go through this hard stuff.
Yeah.
Because then you'll realize,
I forgot. I think it was Brant who said like we got to be grateful for the good
The-
days because the bad days are like
yeah.
Oh, the
Or
bad
be
days
grateful
make you grateful for the
for the
good
good days, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
And,
that's just so true.
mhm. And like Bryson, I see him sometimes more like at school. He can like, I suppose, be quiet, I guess.
yeah.
But there's sometimes when we're like worshiping, I see, I feel like that's the true Bryson.
Well, I feel like like in chapel, like I can see the Holy Spirit like just over like coming like, and you just like are just a
Pretty much
different,
moved.
like,
yeah,
yeah.
Exactly. And the reason why we chose you here today, because I can tell you are walking through that path, getting closer to God. Because that's probably like, it's so easy to drift farther and
Yeah.
farther from God.
That's what
every
makes the
day.
path so hard is that it's so easy to drift.
Yeah,
away.
it's not easy being
It's
like
so
a
easy
Christian.
to be able to like. It's so hard to walk into a straight line when you have that temptation that looks good, and then you have the other one that looks good, and you're just like, it's so hard to
Exactly.
stay on line with God.
What
Yeah.
I love is that even when you go on, so many different paths,
Mm-hmm.
once you come back to Jesus, He will always accept you with open arms.
Yeah.
And He will always be there, loving you more than ever, no matter all the like past sins you've done, no matter all the stuff you've done before. He will still be there for you, and He will still love you and welcome you with open arms. So that's what I
Yeah.
love.
That's what Jesus did also, like the disciples. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even most of them had like a past life that people didn't like him or whatever, but he still, those are the people that Jesus like asked to follow him. And like the Pharisees, I was like, why are you asking those people? There's more like
There's better people. out
royal
there.
and saints and stuff that you could ask, but why are you asking like a tax collector? Like,
It's like why
People like
eating
that.
with
Because
tax
people like
collectors,
hated
yeah.
Matthew. Like they
yeah,
didn't
people
like
like
him.
hated tax collectors back
And he
then.
used Matthew to be one of like.
Yeah, I mean, he was like one of the, like, I think the writers, or like he took notes of what
Yeah.
happened during the miracles and stuff.
And that just shows you that Jesus is real because there's like historical like the whole Bible is a historical document to back everything that like that Jesus is real, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just amazing to me that
What people
It's, like,
say is
historical.
like, I suppose when people are like, is God real or not? I feel like when you're reading the Bible, you can feel so many different ways.
Yeah.
And there's things I've never felt.
like you
know?
can feel conviction, like you
Yeah.
can feel joy, you can feel the grace, you can feel
Peace.
the love that like the peace. Oh my peace is
Yeah.
top tier for me.
Yeah, I remember like when I got saved, like it felt like a weight lifted off my
Yeah.
shoulder. Like, that was probably like one of the most like best experiences ever. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. So what do y'all think like true transformation is? I know Connor said it, but like what do y'all think like that is?
I think what it really means is that it's not just something you tell people, like, I'm saved, I've been baptized, God's not going to send me to hell. It's more of your actions and your mindset, like,
Yeah.
you can be one way on the outside, but inside, if you're thinking those sinful thoughts, you're thinking about, I can't read my Bible, but instead I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go party and all this.
Yeah.
It really is just a full 360. And some people say following Jesus is boring. Like,
Bro, I don't know how it can be boring, bro.
I know.
It's like
how like following Jesus can be boring. They're like, so many rules. I can pretty much have no fun, right? That's like a really big thing. People are like, I want to follow Jesus, but then there'll be no love, like fun in my life. But that's not true. They're just trying to. That's pretty much the devil telling them, don't follow Jesus. Stick to the worldly stuff. Stick to the stuff that gives you pleasure in your heart. Like your human heart, and not to your I suppose
Like flesh, to your
exactly
flesh.
to your
Yeah.
flesh. I mean,
Yeah.
and there's some stuff that Satan will throw at you, telling you live comfortably. You don't have to follow Jesus. You don't have to. There's a lot of stuff Satan will tell you
Yeah.
when you're following Jesus. Like, he's not real. He's not worth it. There's so much
No one's gonna listen to you.
And I feel like
Exactly.
just saying the word like you can just say I'm transformed, but if you're not like
Showing it.
acting on it, like and being like I'm like transformed by this, and like you were this way, now you're this way. You know what I mean? And you got on that right path. You know what I mean? And like that's just like I guess our goal to be transformed, and like I said earlier, God will work through us to show Him.
Yeah.
And like people will show you'll build that fire around you and it'll spread everywhere. And that's when like you have the people like come in and like asking you like how are you experiencing this joy right now when everything's going bad right now? People are like just dying because they're Christians. Like the people in the Congo, have y'all seen that?
They're like 55. Or is it,
It's
is that
70
Yeah,
people got
70
beheaded for being Christian. And like how can you be joyful in like you're a Christian and knowing that could happen to you, but like you just have God with you. And like that's just the joy there. Like just feeling His presence and Him like being with you and stuff. Like that's the joy right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like it's just amazing how he can use us in such a way. Because last podcast we were talking about like how some people think we don't have a purpose, But that could be our purpose right there. God working through us to show others.
Yeah.
And like that's just
And those people knew that like they were going to get like probably going to get like persecuted or like arrested.
Yeah.
But they still did it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like most people, like most Christians nowadays, like when they say I'm truly transformed, and then they'll go do something else like worldly stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
But like
That's just the counterfeit.
yeah, I feel like being truly transformed is like your actions, your mind, like
Your actions
you,
speak louder than words.
Yeah.
That saying right there.
That you
kinda
actually, like,
points
show
the
it.
definition of
Yeah.
what transformation means.
And the thing is, like, the earthly stuff that you can do, you can watch stuff, you can listen to stuff you're not supposed to, or you can do stuff with people you're not supposed to, like get in trouble or, bad stuff.
Yeah.
But you can do that stuff, and it'll give you pleasure for that night or that day. But at the end of the night, when
It
you
won't
lay your
last.
head down at night by yourself, that pleasure's gone.
Yeah, it won't last, but with
Yeah.
God, it does.
Oh yeah.
Like that's the crazy part.
And the thing is, it's like, why do people? I don't understand why people run from it when like eternal happiness and eternal like joy is literally right there in that book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or collection of books. Pastor Matthew says.
Yeah.
All right, so ending that topic, of course, the overall topic is, of course, transformation. But, I think the next thing we should really talk about is how do you stay transformed? How do you not go back to the temptations that the devil will throw at you? Because he will throw those temptations at you. He will never stop trying to fight for your heart. He's always going to try to reel you back in. Because God, he wants to keep you in a safe place, He wants to have you, I suppose, your life changed. He doesn't want you to go back to the stuff you did in the past, because there's some stuff that like Satan tempts me, and it's so easy to go back to those things, but then I get another thing, like something might happen throughout the day or somebody new might enter my life, and it's God telling me, don't give up now. You've gone too deep. You can't just give it all up for short-term pleasure. I am giving you everlasting life. I am giving you the permanent solution to your problem. So don't give up now. Don't lose everything you've built up so far.
Yeah.
So
How do you stay consistent?
How do you stay
with
consistent?
the
Okay,
new
yeah.
life? I guess.
I think, like you kind of said, I think you gotta like stay in the Word and pray. And I mean, I feel like if you're not close to God, I feel like Satan's. I mean, he's that's like where he wants you to be. He don't want you to be close. So I think after that transformation, you gotta like be discipled and find someone that like I guess can share the Word of God with you and like build you up, I guess, and hold you accountable and stuff like that. Yeah.
exactly. And like when I'm around you guys, it's so easy to like, I suppose, stay on track because there's stuff I could be doing, hanging out with the wrong crowd, but I'm hanging out with each one of you guys, and that's really the gift that God has given me. The fact that I have the right people to be around and not look for the short-term pleasure and be with the wrong crowd. Yeah. Because another thing is that your parents can raise you right. And my parents have raised me right, and I thank them for all that. But I think sometimes other kids who have parents raise them right, take them to church every day, they sometimes get sick of it, and they sometimes branch off.
They make it like a have to.
Exactly.
routine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's forced to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something else. People sometimes like, sometimes they're like, I'm Christian because my parents took me to church when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's not why you're Christian. You're Christian because you have gone through stuff that most people haven't, and God has molded you through those trials and through those experiences to who you are now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think that's why like our generation, some people don't go to church just because like when they was raised like by their parents, like making them go to church, and then once they got out of their parents, like I guess household or whatever, they kind of don't see it as like a want to or like a enjoy it. They kind of just saw it as like, well, my parents are making me go here and stuff like that. So I think that's why most of our generation doesn't want to be like transformed.
Yeah, I want to go into Ephesians right here. It's the Ephesians 6:11 talks about put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the devil or stand against the schemes of the devil. And then going on to verse 13, therefore take up the whole armor of God that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand firm. And then it talks about having fastened on the belt of truth, and having on put on the breastplate of righteousness, and as the shoes for your feet, having put on the readiness given by the gospel of peace. In all circumstances, take up the shield of faith with which you can extinguish all flaming darts of the evil one, and take on the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. And now I went to that because, like you said, how can we stay on that track of still being transformed and not going back to our old habits? I wanted to go to that because, like it said in verse 11, putting on the armor of God will help you defeat Satan against his schemes or whatever. Because Satan ain't going to destroy you; he'll distract you, and he'll try to throw you off that path with God. And if you do these, put on the shield of faith and do all that, like, you will be. Satan will still try to tempt you and stuff, and I'm not saying it's going to go away, but it'll still be there lingering in your mind.
Yeah.
But if you resort back to that and you take on that action of like putting on the armor of God, then it'll go away.
Yeah, that's good.
And I just want to say, when I was younger, before I really got to know Christ, I thought like when you got to know Him, it would be perfect. Like there was no struggles, no, and like
Kind of caught the. Well, you still feel the joy and stuff, but like the more you grow, the more Satan's gonna attack you and try. And, like, but you just gotta know. You just gotta rest in God's peace and know that He's got it all handled, and there's nothing that the devil can do to get you away from God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And like God's already won the victory. So like
You're
you're good.
Yeah, the battle's already won.
Yeah.
And when I like truly started to like get closer to Him, I realized that it's not as easy as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And like it really was. It was really hard, and I would fall into temptations that I shouldn't.
Yeah.
And like
We're human.
It was-
It's gonna happen at some point.
and like it really put my thought process like way out of the way, and like I would fall into things like easily, and I would just keep falling and falling. And like when I was like 13, 14, like I struggled with lust and like anxiety really bad,
Yeah.
and like it was hard. Like I was really far from Christ, and like I feel like when I came to Marshall Christian, it really like changed who I am,
Yeah.
and it really just it put me into like a state of mind where I'm like I'm not really close with Jesus, but like I know that he forgave us for our sins. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
And then those past actions and sins don't have a hold on me to this day.
Yeah.
This is where I can grow. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yo, first
That's
time,
good, Bryson.
First time I met you, I don't even know you by your first name. I knew you as Andy's cousin. So, yeah, I knew you as Andy's like younger cousin, but you've been here for like a while now, about like 2 years and a half, which is crazy that it's been that long.
Yeah, I know.
But through time, I slowly see you become more mature, going from playing shadow boxing. To let you. You're playing shadow boxing to like, I suppose, us, like taking Jesus more seriously, you know, worshiping seriously, getting together and admitting our wrongs in front of each other, you know. And I'm so like blessed that I can do that in front of a friend group like you guys, where I don't have to hide everything, you know.
Yeah.
I don't
We
have
can be vulnerable.
Yeah, we all can kind of relate to each other.
The crazy thing is like we've all like seen each other, I guess, grow up a little bit.
We've seen each other at like our lowest moments. And
Yeah.
like, we've been there for each other like every step.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, like, when you first came to the school, I didn't really see God. In
No,
you.
we had some
Like,
beef. We had
we
some
had
beef.
like really bad beef. We didn't really like each other at the start.
Yeah,
He would always ask for my math homework.
Me and Bryson used to have some beef, like
Yeah.
when I first moved here or whatever. So, but it
I
wasn't,
never
like,
thought
it wasn't like bad beef, but like he'd get mad at me for like taking his answers for his math homework.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, I've known Connor since elementary, so like we've had some history and like
We've had some gotcha history.
When you first came to Marshall, we had some beef and like especially in math when you would steal my answers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't remember it. I don't know. It's like a brief
I know.
memory.
we would like have a brawl on the table.
But like as he's grown, I've like seen him grow toward Christ. Like I would
Thank
not
you.
tell who he was from 9th grade to 10th grade because he's really grown.
No, that's the
Yeah,
way I've
like-
seen you too. Because like you've had like you have wisdom. Like, does that make sense? Like you have a lot of wisdom when it comes. Like you don't talk a lot, but like when you do talk, it's very like
He thinks before he
yeah,
says
like
something.
you really
Yeah.
think about what you're gonna say and like ponder on it. Like a weird word, but yeah. And like that just shows like how much you've grown with Christ and stuff. But
I think like our whole friend group. I
oh,
don't know.
our whole friend group
Like
has
for,
excelled.
I feel like going from like when we was in 9th grade and there was
Oh,
like
wow.
little babies.
That's actually crazy to think about.
Yeah.
That we were like
all
a
friends.
grade now,
like-
now we're like a grade under them.
Yeah.
Like
Under no,
Wait,
you're a
Or like
grade
we're the
above.
same like
I can't word it
we're
correctly.
all like high schoolers.
we were 9th graders,
Yeah.
right? And now they're 10th graders, and we're
Yeah.
like 11th.
Well, I'm
graders.
not grade.
You're 9th grade.
They're
You're
10th grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
I'm the baby of the bunch. No, y'all had beef, bro. I can't believe
But
that.
like it wasn't like brought like we weren't gonna fight about it. We were just like
annoyed.
Yeah.
unspoken beef,
Yeah.
kind of like
yeah,
a little argument.
because you had the side part and you give me a little side eye, and I'm like, what the freak you want, bro? Just give me the answers. Just give me the answers.
Yeah.
I feel like the hair matured me a bit, but but
His hair
Kind of
was
scared now. It's crazy that like going from our 9th grade to like us, because most people I feel like after like one argument or whatever, they like stop being friends or whatever, and
yeah.
like they don't share the stuff that we usually share. So it's kind of crazy that
I
like
hear so much about that. So like, our friend group got divided by this single thing,
yeah.
and I'm like, man, we've got through so many stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, now that I'm thinking of it, but Bryson said that, me and Connor had beef too.
When?
The basketball game.
Yeah, y'all like
Yeah, because
No, I ain't gonna lie, you was pushing off me.
we did get teed up though. But
Yeah, it was kind of neutral. I ain't gonna lie.
I called you Tarzan. Yeah, because you're the boy and you're just like.
Oh, bro, no, I was big, bro.
No, Bray had the biggest glow up though. Like no doubt.
what's crazy to me is that like it's really crazy seeing how much we've grown together.
Oh no
I
doubt.
know, it's crazy.
Bro, because like I like it's insane to me how much we've grown over like a span of just only like a year.
Yeah,
You know
basically
what I
like a
mean?
year, like
Yeah.
a true year. Yeah.
Because like I was a 9th grader, now I'm a 10th grader. I've seen how much God has worked in my life and worked through y'all to help me grow and stuff. Because like if it wasn't for y'all and other people at our school, I don't think I'd be where I'm at today.
Yeah.
Because like y'all have like opened my eyes and like y'all have been there for me through my ups and downs in life, and y'all have been there every time just to pick me up and stuff. So
Yeah.
Well, I feel like God's just worked it out like perfect.
yeah,
Is like called us all to this school, you know.
yeah.
Then I'll like become friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we've all like, we've all came from different schools.
Yeah, like
Know that?
how I don't know how people could believe in like coincidences. Like
Mhm.
there's not that's
No,
not,
what
a
are
cha- that's not about
odds?
chance.
What are
like,
the odds that we all
Yeah.
go to the same school and we like?
Yeah.
Exactly.
'Cause I feel like
I knew you
Yeah.
a little bit
you knew Bryson too.
before. I knew Bryson pretty much my whole life.
I had no idea who you guys were.
Yeah,
no one.
Man,
The fact that
I met
if
y'all
you
at
go
the
from-
I met y'all at the basketball game. And
yeah. Oh, yeah,
I,
that's true,
I knew
yeah.
because you were tough. Like you hit a little euro, and I'm like, you hit
Close
it.
hopped me up.
Yeah, no, no glaze, no. But like, I'm saying,
He
like,
was literally from
I didn't
LeBron.
talk trash to him. I didn't talk trash to him because he was tough and he was on the opposite team. But Brent,
So I wasn't tough.
nah, you were trash. Nah, I'm joking. But like, I guess I just talked trash because I knew I could guard you, and like, you really weren't that like big of a threat. But when I had to guard him, bro, I was like,
I didn't say nothing. I was like,
Yeah, you were quiet. You were,
No, but like back on transformation.
yeah.
I think it's just like I said, like at the beginning, I said it's just crazy that we've all seen that transformation, and it just shows like how much you can transform. There you go. It's just crazy how much you can see like people transform off other people. Of course, like God's in there too, but like you know, God you see
God
off-
uses like everybody to
Exactly.
like help us grow.
It's- yeah, it's
and
God through
I
those
think
people.
that's a part of like growing and like going through life. Like you need other Christian like followers to like Jesus followers to like bring you up and also be real with you in moments because we can't sugarcoat nothing. You got to be straight to the point. You got to be real with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, when I first moved to Marshall, I was in 8th grade, I think. It was in like the middle of the year. And like when I first met Brant, Pablo, Brock, a few other people, I really saw the God in them. And I've never seen that before from past schools I went to.
Yeah.
And it really like changed my perspective about Christianity and what it really meant. And like it really wanted me, I wanted to change who I was for them. And like I didn't want to show my true identity. And like the more I went there and the more I like saw how other people thought about Christ and like wanted to follow him, it really like motivated me to like, you know,
I feel like some people gotta see our true identity to like not like specific people, but I feel like we've got to be vulnerable about our past and like our true identity or whatever to like help us grow more. You know what I mean?
Because we're all going through it.
Yeah, you gotta share those hard times to
Yeah. Like
to
you
good
got to be
times.
like there's going to be moments where you need to be or like you don't have to be, but like there's moments where you can be vulnerable and then there's moments obviously like maybe keep something to yourself, but like
Yeah.
obviously if God's leading you to say something, say it. If you feel that in your heart or your mind, God puts that in your mind, you need to say it obviously. But like I said, I think people need to see like our true identity to like help us grow in our relationship with God and help others around us. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But
And like one thing I do, and like I kind of struggle with it, I idolize other things over God.
yeah.
And like it's really hard to just like you got to put God first before anything. And I put sports, video games, other things above him.
Bro.
And I struggle with like getting rid of those things. Like I really do.
Yeah.
And I know I shouldn't be idolizing them over God because God's our number one priority.
Yeah. Amen.
And like it's hard. Like getting rid of those things, it's rough. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
rough.
Talking about video games and stuff, like, you don't have to like. Obviously, if you like want to get them out of your life, go for it 100%. But sometimes that's people's way of like kind of winding down and like relaxing, I guess. But like you could obviously like read your Bible as your way of relaxing. But some people just want to like have fun or whatever, like with with your friends and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I say, you can limit yourself.
Yeah.
you know?
Oh yeah, 100%. But
It's
if you
just
feel,
like the Forge, you know, when
Yeah.
he idolized golf, but like
He went
still
to
played
he still
golf.
played golf. It's just
He didn't play
Yeah.
he,
as much.
What he
He
did,
did
he,
it first.
he played every week,
yeah.
every weekend, or no, he played every day,
yeah,
and then he limited himself to like only 3 times a year. And I feel like that's how we are, or
Yeah.
that's how we need to be. We need to like take
limit,
stuff
like,
out
have
of our
set
life.
like
Yeah.
a 2-hour time limit or something
Yeah.
like that.
Not
Yeah.
like just playing video games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
like-
that's what I've done with like Instagram because like sometimes I'll catch myself like on Instagram for like 6 hours almost like on Saturdays
No,
like
wow.
just constantly scrolling like
But-
it won't be all in one moment but like I don't know.
What I've done is completely deleted every social media except YouTube because
Yeah.
I want to see how we're doing and stuff.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever. But I don't watch any like shorts. What are the YouTube shorts?
YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't watch the reels. I don't have TikTok anymore. I don't have Instagram. I don't have Twitter. I don't have any of that. But like or X, whatever it's called. But like that. Looking back on it now, I realized how much anxiety and like how much stress it put on me.
Oh, yeah.
From
Oh, yeah, 100%.
scrolling and stuff and seeing other people's views on Christianity and like. It like really gets your mind thinking about like what do I really believe? Do I believe
And-
this way or this way? But like once I deleted all this, like the peace and like how much release I've had from anxiety is just amazing. But
Yeah, and like what I was gonna say is like a thing that makes transformation so hard is getting rid of those bad things.
Yeah.
Getting rid of that bad music, the bad video games.
because it's fun, like it's like you feel that
You feel that
Yeah.
joy. I
yeah,
guess.
you feel
Like
that moment of this is the best thing like ever.
Yeah.
And but then like you're like
Once you get off of it, you're like,
You're not-
I gotta
like-
put that again or something like that.
yeah,
It don't last forever.
yeah. But God does.
Yeah.
As I was saying, like, thank y'all for inviting me to the show. Like, I really learned a lot from like hearing what y'all think about transformation.
Yeah.
And it really like showed me like other people how they view it. And like, yeah, just thank y'all for inviting me.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
No,
bro.
yeah.
No problem.
Exactly.
real.
Because we've all learned from each one of us.
Yeah.
We've all had advice that we can take from each other.
Yeah.
And one day I hope you're back on here.
You
and-
no doubt.
Exactly.
You will be.
Spreading the
100%.
wisdom that you have because
Yeah,
I
for
know
real.
you have a lot of it. And I just hope and pray that your faith and walking Christ gets bigger every day. You know, we made this podcast.
And the more
for-
that we're around each other, and the more we're doing this, and like reading the word and like prayer and just going to church and stuff, like we're gonna grow, and then we're gonna start. It's just gonna be a spread around everything.
And as we're closing this off, just thank you for everybody watching, especially for everybody watching the previous episode,
Yeah.
which was struggling with
Faith, yeah.
struggling with faith, and whether you haven't seen it yet, I would advise to watch it, because there's some stuff that Christians might not want to admit. There might be struggles that they're going through. I just want to thank everybody who has been watching so far. If you've made it to the end, and if you've seen our previous podcast, thank you for that as well, because the amount of support we've gotten
Yeah.
through our
Yeah, it's
socials,
crazy.
I know, like, it went from a dream to actually it becoming true,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's a blessing. The fact that people have came up to me and be like, "Man, what you're doing is absolutely great,"
Yeah.
and the fact that they tell me that we have the potential to change lives. Is
Yeah.
the-
I feel
is
like
the
what we're
fuel.
doing is gonna have a big impact.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about.
I also just want to thank Paulo because
Oh yeah, no
Like,
doubt. This
he-
is the man. He does
we just-
everything.
no, we just yap, and then Paulo he does all the stuff behind
Yeah.
the scenes, and he
Yeah.
he really
So,
does a good job.
We wouldn't have this without him. And he's
Yeah.
the one who got it started. He's the one
Yeah.
who implanted the idea. But
yeah.
Yeah.
So ending this episode, the theme was transformation, and just know that through your transformation, you're not alone on this walk. So just know that God's with you 100% of the way. He's never gonna leave you.
Also, if you want to, you can follow our social media. We'll have it in the end credits, but you usually, if you want to like know what we're planning, or you have suggestions for later episodes, then
Yeah,
go follow our
no cap.
socials.
Like comment, and we'll do it. Like,
Yeah. Like we don't
well,
have
if it's
like-
something crazy, we ain't gonna do it.
yeah. But
Move to
just,
China and serve it.
but just thank you for everybody watching, and I hope to see you in
Oh.
the next episode.
We are working on Spotify and Apple Music. We're trying to get that started. So we'll either have Spotify either next week or when the episode drops. So
Yeah.
But you can check it out.
All right, thank you.
for real. Peace out.